He left because I was sick and I got my revenge. This happened 8 months ago. My ex Josh and I dated for almost 2 years until I started having weird health issues last spring. Constantly exhausted, joints hurting, random fevers. Doctors finally diagnosed me with an autoimmune thing that meant unpredictable good and bad days until they found the right medication. Josh came to one doctor appointment and said supportive things. After 3 weeks of me being too tired to go out or canceling plans because I felt awful, he was clearly done. His texts got shorter and he was always busy when I asked him to come over. One night he showed up and ended it. Said he couldn't handle this and needed someone who could keep up with his lifestyle. I was sitting there with a heating pad on my knees while he talked about his lifestyle, like he wasn't a Best Buy employee whose idea of adventure was top golf. I told him to leave. He texted 2 days later saying he hoped we could be friends. I never answered. The medication worked after a month and I felt normal again. I went back to work and started seeing friends. Only thought about Josh when something reminded me how he'd bailed. In October, my coworker Britt invited me to a Halloween party. The place was packed with people in half-effort costumes. I went to the kitchen for a drink and heard Josh's laugh. He was there with a girl in a cat costume hanging on him. They looked comfortable, like they'd been together a while. It bothered me because he got to move on while I'd spent months sick and abandoned. I left 20 minutes later. 2 days later, I'm at Target getting prescriptions and I see her. Same girl, same forearm tattoo, looking at phone cases. She looked up and smiled. "Were you at Danielle's party?" "Yeah, briefly. I'm Amy." We talked about the party and how we knew people there. Then she brought up Josh without me asking. Said they'd been dating 2 months, met at the gym. She talked about him like people do in the honeymoon phase, calling him sweet and thoughtful. Right then, I decided to do it. "That's cool. Just so you know, if you ever get sick or need real support, don't count on him being there." Her smile dropped. "What?" "I dated Josh for 2 years. Last spring, I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. 3 weeks later, he dumped me because I couldn't keep up with his lifestyle. Thought you should know what kind of guy he is." She looked shocked. "Are you serious?" "Completely. I still have the breakup text if you want proof, but I'm not trying to start drama. Just think you deserve to know." I gave her my number and left. She texted that night asking if we could meet. I said yes because I was committed now. We met for coffee the next day. She said Josh mentioned an ex but claimed it was mutual because we wanted different things. Nothing about me being sick. I showed her the actual texts. Him saying he couldn't deal with my health problems. Him saying he needed someone more active. Amy went quiet. Then she told me she's had type 1 diabetes since she was 11. She manages it well, but it's something she lives with every day. She told Josh on their second date to be upfront, and he'd acted completely supportive. "He knew I have a chronic illness and didn't tell me what he did to you," she said. Her voice had an edge. We talked for an hour. I wasn't pushing her to dump him, just showing her who he really was. I could see her processing everything. 4 days later, she texted, "Broke up with him. Thanks for the heads up." She'd confronted him and he tried saying it was different, that my situation was more complicated and her diabetes didn't affect their relationship. She told him that was the problem. He only supported her because it didn't inconvenience him yet, and she wasn't waiting around to see what happened during a serious episode. When he asked how she found out, she said she ran into me. He tried calling, but I'd already blocked him after giving Amy my number.